Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Welcome to the I Am Real Estate Show with Ray Smith, Sandra Johnson, and Dayon Johnson. We're all part of the Johnson Smith team at Indy Realty. On our show today, we have John Spur, who is the CEO and founder of Inspired Life Mortgage, which is a subsidiary of Inspired Life Group.
You just love that. You love that we have Inspired Life Group now.
I do love it.
Well, we love it too. It allows us to expand and do great things.
I think we try to focus the show right now on trying to get buyers into homes. And doing so, there are a lot of programs that are out there, and there's one that just came out, and let Sandra talk a little about Lighthouse.
Well, we know it's coming. It hasn't just come out. So it's been there, and then they run out of funds, and then it comes back. And I believe the last round, they ran out of funds in about a week. And you have to be under contract to apply for those funds. And so it's a great program for the right person. It's a good fit. But there are some other...
Well, I didn't say that it's a DPA.
It is down payment assistance. Okay. And there are some other programs that have actually some benefits that you may not find with Lighthouse. And so, John, I was going to ask you a little bit about what you have to offer for people that maybe don't want to roll the dice on whether or not that money is going to be there.
So we have the Empower grant, and it doesn't run out of money. The very long story is why it doesn't run out of money, but it doesn't. It's a federally backed program, and it will give you 3.5% towards your down payment on an FHA transaction. It has minimal restrictions as far as income or having to be a first-time home buyer, but they're very small. Most anybody can qualify for the grant program. What I like about the grant the most is after you've been in the house for 7 months and you've made 6 payments, we can refinance out of the program into a lower interest rate, and you don't owe any money back.
So that's a great thing to talk about, is the ability to refinance. A lot of your down payment assistance programs don't give you that option without paying back the money.
Yeah, a lot of them have a 3-year or 5-year, call it a silent second, and all that means is it's a second lien on your property that you don't make a mortgage payment on, and it's prorated. After the second year you owe this much, the third year you owe this much, and it goes down until it's completely forgiven. But some of these programs don't have a refinance clause in them, and if you want to refi into a lower rate, you have to pay back whatever the prorated amount is on that down payment assistance program. And so it seems like it's a great plan and there's free money and so on and so forth, but if you don't understand the fine print in the program, and we do see rates come down in the next 5 years, that might keep you from being able to obtain that lower rate without having to pay it off. Whereas with a grant, like the Empower grant, it is truly free money. The only reason we have to wait 7 months is you can only do an FHA loan once every 7 months.
That makes sense. I actually did not know that you could only do an FHA loan every 7 months. So I learned something. Every time you're on the show, I learned something about the industry.
So any government-insured loan, USDA, VA, or FHA, you cannot refinance into another one, or out of it. You cannot refinance out of it until you've made 6 payments and 7 months have elapsed since the note date.
Question for you, John. Just John Spur from Inspired Life Mortgage. When you're talking about DPAs and you're talking about Empower Grant, do they usually come in with a higher interest rate? Is because of the program itself, and then you'd have to get out of it?
Yeah, no, so as an example, we literally, I was at closing yesterday with a couple that we just did a brand new single wide on the Empower Grant. And they actually got $2,000 back at closing. It was one of the rare times. That doesn't happen very often.
All right.
But yeah, they ended up having to bring none of their own money into the transaction. It closed at 7.625. Now, part of that's because it was a manufactured home. There's a little bit of an uptick.
Right.
But if rates stay where they are today in October, that's a big if, but if they stay where they are today in October, we would be refinancing them to 6.25. So, to answer your question, yes, they do come with a higher rate, but it's for a short period of time, and this is as close as you're going to get to free money.
And with that being said, John, Does it have to be 7 months? It may be 8 or 9 months for the rates to go down to where they wanted it, right?
The quickest you could do it is 7 months.
Okay.
If you want to hang out and we see rates continue to go down, and we want to wait 10 months to grab a lower rate, absolutely.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
The soonest would be 7 months.
Okay.
And is there any benefit to refinancing with you if they did their loan with you?
Oh, absolutely. There's always a benefit to coming back to us. We cover appraisal costs, we cover credit report fees, and the other part is we know exactly what transaction you're currently in, and we have 90% of your information ready to go, and so we can move quickly.
That's in the lending world, people don't say we can move quickly very often. Can we be honest here?
What was fun about this one that we just did is I attend my closings, and I get to closing. The realtors are both like, we never have a lender here. The title company said the same thing. We never have the lender here. And then the title agent looked at me, she goes, and we never have docs 3 days before closing either.
So you were the rock star of the day.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun transaction. And I've got probably 15, 16 of these grant programs done, and they've not been a problem to get underwritten. They've been actually some of the easier transactions that I do right now.
I think, there's Chandra.
I was going to say, I have had a client in the past that did have a down payment assistance that they had to pay back. And honestly, they borrowed the money at no interest rate. It got them into a home. They had equity. They paid the program back, and they still walked away with a nice little nest egg and paid off all their debt. So there may be more than one answer for you, but this is a pretty awesome answer right here.
Yeah, and I'm not putting down any down payment program out there. They all have their need and their purpose, and there's a big need for it right now for people to get into a home. I think it's understanding the program that you're getting in and what is your timing. Or do you see yourself here for the next 5 to 7 years? Just make sure you understand what it is you're doing. I've
had that client that said, I'm only going to be here for 2 years. I don't want to participate in the program because I'll have to pay it back. And again, I've looked at them and said, it's still interest free. And, I understand that there may be those things to consider. The program that you have with Empower was not available at that time. But certainly these programs are constantly changing, and you really have to be working with somebody that is on top of the changes in the market and changes in the programs to know what the best fit for you is.
Yeah. And Empower's not the only thing we have. We have some Fannie Mae products, but there's one that's a 1% down. There's one that's a 2% grant, and they're both grants. So they're not as significant, but if somebody's looking at a home that the loan amounts could be above FHA, there is other options out there that they might be able to take advantage of, and those aren't going to have income limits either.
You're listening to John Spur of Inspired Life, which is a subsidiary of Inspired Life Mortgage. Whether you're in the market to buy or sell a home, the Johnson Smith team at Indy Realty remains committed to assist you in either endeavor. Please give us an opportunity to provide you great service with our personal touch. You can give me a call at 520-904-7711. You can call Sandra at
520-850-1725.
Or DJ at
520-373-6864.
We're back. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show. We have John Spur from Inspire Life Mortgage, the CEO of the company. And we talk about the multiple layer of loans they have out there. And people think there's more than one loan you can get for a home. And I was thinking
there's all kinds of questions, right? Because in any industry related to real estate, I feel like we have acronyms for everything. We have code words.
Oh,
right?
Come on. We have acronyms from acronyms. Okay, TRID is an acronym of RESPA and TILA, which is an acronym.
Okay. You win there. And if you go TRID, what does that have to do with the other acronyms, right? I mean, they don't even you can't combine them and come up with TRID.
No, you can't.
Make it make sense for us, John.
T is for TILA, R is for RESPA, and then I is integrated and D is disclosures. So they took RESPA and TILA and crammed it together into the CD and LE that we know today and called it an integrated disclosure. And so you have two acronyms that become one.
Into the CDLE?
Into the CDLE.
as
There
I
you go.
was saying,
Only in our industry can we do this.
as I was saying, there were multiple loans. You guys are going down a rabbit hole. I don't understand.
I'm about ready to sing the alphabet song over here.
I know, right? Any kindergartner that wants to go into financing is going to have to memorize that alphabet twice.
I think we
Tell us who Freddie and Fannie are. Let's just start there.
So Fannie and Freddie are what we call GSEs, which is a government-sponsored entity. They are overseen by FHFA. See, here's the trend we got going here, which is the federal house. It's FHFA is a federal agency that oversees Fannie, Freddie, and anything else to do with mortgage. But Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are entities that produce underwriting guidelines that the individuals on the secondary market who are purchasing the mortgage loans can agree with. And that's about the easiest explanation of what they are. They do not lend money. They provide guidance on how to lend money so that that transaction can be sold to an investor on the secondary market.
And so my house, my rules.
Your house, your rules.
With Freddie and Fannie, they're the ones making the rules for those loans.
Absolutely, they're the ones that they're working with the investors to make the rules. So something new came out recently. There was a guideline change, and we now have to verify any money coming out of your account that says Zelle or any other type of cash app.
Whoa.
Because that's a popular way to pay short-term loans that don't show up on credit reports. And from a mortgage perspective, we want to know about every loan that's out there. So that was a recent change, and that came from the individuals who are buying the mortgage-backed securities. Fannie and Freddie didn't come up with this. There was a chunk of loans that went bad because these cash app payments were actually payments for a car or something large and weren't going away anytime soon, and the people actually didn't qualify and couldn't make the mortgage payment. So secondary market came back and said, we want to know every time money changes in an account for Zelle what it was for.
So are we talking huge amounts of money, like a routine Zelle payment or a one-time Zelle payment? Doesn't matter. You're shaking your head. No one can see this on the radio. You are shaking your head.
I just got conditioned today for $85.
For $85.
Which happened to be her power bill.
Wow.
But that is what Fannie and Freddie do, is they facilitate making sure that the people buying the mortgages are happy with what they're getting and getting the information to us on how do we underwrite them correctly. And so they're considered what's a conventional loan, right?
That was going to be my question. Is conventional loans, does that include USD, FHA, or VA?
Those are all government loans. Fannie and Freddie do your conventional lending, your traditional 3% or 5% down, 30-year fixed. They go up to the jumbo limit of the 764 and some change. But they're your more traditional loan type outside of government insured like FHA, VA, or USDA.
Hey, John, that's good to know that the conventional loans are Freddie and Fannie, whatever. But most of your government loans are USDA, FHA, and VA. Those are all government loans.
Yeah, and
okay.
The entity that they trade with is called Ginnie Mae.
Come on, man.
Hey, this is what it is.
I'm make this stuff up. Number 3.
Right?
Let me write this. Hey, guys, if you're listening, think about that. There's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Ginnie Mae.
And then your student loans are Ellie Mae.
Oh, come on, man. You're joking, right?
No, I'm serious.
Are they all from the South? Student loans. Okay, I'm writing this down.
Well, the really nice thing is that as a consumer, you don't have to know all of this. You just need to hire a good lender who knows all of this and can take care of it for you.
Yeah, and then as you were asking Ray and Sandra, the FHA, VA, USDA, those are all government insured loans, and they all have very different purposes and uses, right?
Mm-hmm.
VA is going to be for somebody that is a veteran or active duty and has earned a certificate of eligibility. And depending on what branch of the military you're in, and if you're active duty or if you're reserves, determines the requirements needed to get that certificate of eligibility. Only a veteran and their spouse can go on a VA mortgage, and you can only buy your primary residence with it. FHA is government insured. That's our my favorite tool. I use it more than anything. It's the 3.5% down. It's the one that's usually tied to down payment assistance and grant programs. But it's got a wide variety of uses. People with credit issues, it's got an easier underwrite. We can typically go to lower credit scores. It's more lenient on where the down payment comes from as far as friends, family. It can be a gift. It can be down payment assistance. Higher debt to income ratios. There's just a lot about it that makes it very flexible, and we can put a lot of people into homes in that program because of the flexibility of FHA.
Is there any reason why you didn't say DTI and you actually said debt to income? I mean, come on.
I feel like I can't win. I use an acronym, it's wrong. I don't use the acronym, it's wrong.
You're questioned about it.
I'm just harassing
is this
you.
what it's like every day?
You have no idea.
Yeah, he has no idea whatsoever. It was just a missed opportunity. That's all.
I get it. And then we have USDA, and yes, the people that certify the grade of your beef also do mortgage lending. USDA used to be a lot of fun in Tucson before they rewrote the boundaries, because almost all of Tucson was inside of USDA. But they rewrote the boundaries, and now you're pushing it out towards south of Cerrito Road, out in the Corona de Tucson Vale area, Cerrito, Green Valley, out towards Red Rock, are some of the areas you can get USDA. But what's great about USDA is it's no money down. It's a 0% down payment. The mortgage insurance on it is lower than if you're on a conventional transaction, but it is tougher underwriting. You do have to have good credit, and your DTI restrictions are down around 39, not up into the 45s. So you definitely have to be well qualified for that program.
And which other programs can you finance a manufactured home on?
I can do it on any of them. That's not every lender, but I can do manufactured, conventional, VA, FHA, or USDA. And USDA, it has to be brand new. Okay.
Any restrictions on condos?
FHA and VA, they have to be an approved condo. On FHA, I can do spot approvals. Not every lender can. And conventional, we typically can do a spot approval, and as long as investor concentration isn't too high, we can get them done.
You're listening to John Spur. He is the CEO and founder of Inspired Life. We'd like to thank you for staying and listening to the show. You listen to the I Am Real Estate Show on 1030 AM The Voice. You're here with Ray, Sandra, and Danielle. That's DJ, part of the Johnson Smith team at Indy Realty. Thanks for staying tuned to the I Am Real Estate Show. We're here with John Spur of Inspired Life. He's the CEO and founder of this local company. And earlier we were talking about Freddie Mae, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Jeannie Mae, and Ellie Mae. Those are all.
If you ever think about naming your kids that way,
those are all people.
You're going to make me digress. The reason I don't have sons is because I always threaten to name my son Rusty. Well, my last name is Spur. I saw no problem with this.
I have no comment. No comment on that.
So I have a dog named Rusty instead.
Okay.
Rusty Spur. I love it. So, John, you're going to be sitting at an open house with me later today. The property is located at 6011 South Cedar Elm Lane out in the Savano to Sierra Morado area. And what we have is a 2-story home, has had tenants in it, and really with the time frame of trying to get contractors in, the seller decided to sell as is. And so we're talking about having you there to answer people's questions on doing a rehab loan. Can you kind of walk us through what that looks like?
So there's multiple options for rehab, and we had the wonderful song from Ray with Fannie, Freddie, and FHA. So Fannie and Freddie offer rehab transactions. FHA does also. Fannie and Freddie are the way I would rather go, because FHA has significantly bigger process to go through to do the rehab loan. But we would need, first we need the offer on the property so we know what we're starting with for the base price. Then we need estimates from, and I think you said this one was a roof and some other stuff, but we need estimates from the
need paint, carpet, that type of stuff. A lot of it's cosmetic. Obviously, the roof would not be cosmetic.
But we need estimates from all the contractors, and the work has to be done by contractors. It cannot be done by the homeowner. And then we take the sales price plus whatever work is going to be done. That is our new starting point. And then your down payment of the 5, 10, 20%, whatever you want to do, comes off of that number. Transaction closes, and then depending on the amount of work that has to be done, there's either a 30, 60, or 6-month window.
Wow.
To get the work done before you have to move in. That money is going to sit with escrow, and as the work is done, the escrow company is going to pay the contractors. It's going to go directly to them. Any money that's left over would go back onto the loan balance. It doesn't go into your hand. So if the estimates were $25,000 and they did it for $20,000, that $5,000 is going to go back to your loan amount and reduce the loan balance on the home. It doesn't go into your hand. But you get to pick the carpet, you can pick the tile, paint colors. Like, you get to take a home that's older that needs to be updated, and you get to pick all those things and have it installed and basically move it into an almost brand new home.
So does that have to fall under one general contractor, or can they have a contractor doing the tile work and maybe a contractor doing the roof?
So you can bid it. You can bid it out yourself, individual contractors. I mean, sometimes there's a benefit of having a general to manage that all for you. But if you want to find a tile guy and a carpet guy and a paint guy and a roof guy and provide us with 10 different estimates, that's fine. This is also good for appliances, for AC unit, for water heater. So it's one of those things where if we're going to spend some money on some cosmetic stuff and the AC unit's 20 years old or the water heater's 15 years old, if we're going to do it. Do it. Let's take care of these things.
Hey, John, you just said that if the price of the work was less, that goes back. What if the price is more? The price for the
we
repairs.
Really try to avoid that situation rate at all costs.
I just want to make sure, John. Okay.
Look at those quotes in writing.
So one of the things that happens to make sure that we don't have that issue is they'll do a 10% contingency. So if the estimate is $25,000, they're going to actually fund an extra $2,500. So sitting in escrow would be $27,500.
Okay.
In case something comes up, because this is one of those situations. Once we open up a wall, we don't know what's behind there. Once we pull cabinets out, we don't know what's behind there, right?
Sure.
So there needs to be a little extra funds to make sure that we can cover any unforeseen problems.
You guys foresee all that stuff before, which is great.
So is that the loan like one lump sum, and I can start with the needed items and then see what's left over to do those? Maybe there's enough money to do a backsplash and appliances, but I really only quoted the appliances, or how does that work?
Whatever you want, we need a quote up front.
Okay.
I encourage people to, let's put an appliance package, let's do this, let's do that. If the payment now is too much for you or the loan amount's too much, let's start backing stuff off. It's easier on the front end to get it approved for a whole bunch of things, and then before closing say, hey, you know what, we decided we're not doing the appliances and we're not doing this, and taking it off. It's much more difficult to add.
Are you locked in on the contractors that you chose when you submit those initial quotes, or can the contractor or some of the, I hear you saying like the scope of work needs to be set up ahead of time, but if there's something that does change contractor to contractor, is that allowed? Or
in some circumstances, we like it to stay whatever contractor bid the work is the contractor that does the work, but we also understand people get injured, they get sick, companies close down, and so if we need to, out of necessity, yes. If it's just because Billy Bob didn't get out there the first time, but he came out, now he's $1,000 cheaper, we're probably going to say no to it.
Yeah.
So are those things that you would need to submit approval for to make any kind of change?
Yes. There's a process. It's basically a work order, a change to the work order, and is a process to make those changes.
Are you involved in that whole process until it's complete, until the loan is complete?
Start to finish.
Wow.
All the way until the last dollar has come out of escrow and everything's gone back to the loan balance, if anything's left over.
And if the buyers want to change something like the color of tile and the price does change, kind of a small amount, do those kinds of changes also need approval? And is it the same process of approving?
That's why the contingency fund's there also. So the tile you chose at the beginning, now they don't have enough pieces, it's out of stock, so you pick a different tile, and it's 10 cents a square foot more, so it's an extra $1,000. That's why the contingency stuff is there. It would be, hey, we decided we wanted to add a whole bathroom. Okay, well, there's going to be within reason changes we can do without having to have to put a work order in.
And then one last question on that: how much down payment are they going to need to come in with?
It's typically going to be 5 to 10%, depending on the project, the type of property, credit score, all that fun stuff.
You're listening to John Spur. He is the CEO of Inspired Life Mortgage, what is a subsidiary of Inspired Life Group. We're heading to the break. Thank you for spending part of your afternoon with us. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show on 1030 AM The Voice, KVOI. We're back. Thank you for staying with us for the last segment. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show with Ray Smith, Sandra Johnson, and DJ Johnson. That's Danielle Johnson.
Now, see, she's never been called DJ because her brother is a DJ also.
But her brother is not on the radio show.
My grandma was also a DJ.
That's true.
And they're not on the radio show, so she's the DJ on the radio show.
Okay. You're the DJ on the radio show, Danielle.
Although apparently I just became DJ Johnson, so it just keeps changing. You never know.
Yeah, I'll change it again.
Normally, if you call me, just say, hey, I'll answer, this is Danielle, just so you know.
And we're here with the CEO of Inspired Life Mortgage, John Spur. I can call him JS, but then everybody just be pissed off. Start using initials.
What is that? Just saying?
Yeah.
Just saying. Yeah, that's good. That's
so
good.
We thought that in the last segment we would talk a little bit about some of the properties that we have listings for. So we'll let Danielle start us off.
So the first one I've got available is 6226 South Wheaton. That one is out Houghton and Bilby. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,300 square feet. It has newer appliances, the air conditioning, the water heater. They have all been updated within about the last year, just over a year. It also has owned solar. So that's a really awesome thing if you're wanting to have solar, having it actually owned. We are listed at, range priced $320 to $335. That will be available if you'd like to see it. Make sure you reach out so I can schedule a showing for you. And my other one that I want to talk about is 6773 East Calle La Paz, Unit D. So this is a townhouse. It's a 2nd-story unit. So it is upstairs, but inside is all upstairs. There are no interior stairs. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. We're listed at $195. It has a really nice kitchen area. It's got great tile. The countertops are like a tile, kind of a countertop. Very, very nice. That unit, I will tell you, we do need to have a pre-qual if you would like to come see it. So if you are not currently working with a lender and you're interested, again, it's listed at $195. Give John a call and he can get you the pre-qual, and then I can set you up with a showing. So John, how do they get a pre-qual?
You can reach me at 520-975-9965. I need about 20 minutes of your time and we can get you qualified.
And all these things are being brought to you by Indy Realty. Indy Realty, we're the Johnson Smith team. Indy Realty is located at 7255 East Tango Verde, 85715 in the Tucson, Arizona area.
You know, one of the things I really like about that community, it's the Meadows, is that each building has 4 townhouses, but there's no one above you or below you in any of the units. And so your A unit is all one ground level unit. B and C are 2-story units. So your kitchen and living area downstairs, bedrooms and bathroom upstairs. And then the D unit is all upstairs, but over the carport area. So you're not actually, you don't have people walking above you, or you don't have to worry about, having someone living below you. So I think it's just such a great little community there. I love the way that
the other thing that's
designed.
cool about the community is the open space in there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of open space in there.
They do, absolutely. We have the 2-story house that John and I will be at 6011 South Cedar Elm Lane, and that is off Houghton also. So you could actually swing by and see Danielle's listing at Wheaton and come by and see Cedar Elm Lane, and that is the one that really is suited well for an investor or someone who's looking to do the work themselves, have all those finishes selected and get to pick out the paint and carpet and all of that. And maybe get some instant equity. I think there's a lot of opportunity there if you buy right to have a nice little chunk of equity at the end of the day. So we have townhomes on the west side.
Before you go, we didn't get a price on how many bedrooms and baths?
Oh, that is true. It's $250,000 is the asking price, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So again, your living areas are downstairs with the kitchen, and then you've got 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms upstairs. And it's an end unit. I love that. You have an end unit, so you don't have anyone.
It's got a little extra space on the side, and so it is, a nice place to be.
Yep.
And it's in Savannah.
It is, and then from the primary bedroom, you've got a mountain view out the window there. So, and that open space is really nice to the east of the unit. On the west side, we have 1354 and 1358 West Placida Bronce. So 2 houses next door to each other. They are townhomes, but only the garages are touching. And so one of them, the 1354 West Placida Bronce, is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at 1,248 square feet. And that one has owned solar, water harvesting. And the homeowner has done a lot of upgrades to it, a fairly new backsplash and countertops, and done some remodel in the bathrooms. And that one is listed at $320,000. And then the 2-bedroom, 2-bath next door is 941 square feet with leased solar, but your solar payments are only $55 a month. And that one is $287,000, so a little bit maybe more affordable. And then they have garages that do touch. So you get a 2-car garage and then a gated entry, and really close to a lot of fun things downtown. If you like to go hiking, you've got hiking close by, St. Mary's Hospital close by, San Augustine, TCC, just a lot of close by fun things to do. And
that's a 2-2?
That is a 2-2.
And both of those have a nice front yard area.
They do. They have really large front yards.
They're nice and enclosed. And so, if you do have kids or pets, having that enclosed area, it's really nice.
And then our last one is in Tucson Estates number 2. It's at 2270 South Diamond D Drive. That is brand new construction. 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It's 2,286 square feet. Are there any extra lending challenges, John, when you're dealing with something like this? Is brand new construction, but it's about 90% complete.
When you say 90% complete,
we have a certificate of occupancy, but we still have some finished work that's being done.
Yeah, that's necessarily not an issue as long as the work's going to be completed before we fund the transaction. The biggest challenge with new construction, if it's not one of your production builders, is if it's a VA borrower, there is additional documentation that we have to get done and we have to get from the builder. It doesn't preclude them from being able to buy it. It just adds a little extra steps.
Okay.
We have one more listing.
We do.
Past time.
Oh, yeah, we do. We have another townhouse at Central. That one just did a price reduction, so we're under $200,000. It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 902 square feet, and there is a community pool there. It is, I think, just over a mile east of Tucson Mall, and so centrally located. It's an adobe building. Has a lot of it has 2 covered parking spaces, and then storage. It comes with washer and dryer, refrigerator, and a nice covered patio. So that one, again, $199. It's range priced from $199 to $204. And
Sandra, since they're driving around listening to us on the radio, and don't we have a couple of open houses that can come by and see a couple of those homes?
They could. Your Placida, West Placida Bronce homes are going to be open on Saturday from 1 to 4. Actually, I don't know that that's true. Today from 1 to 4. We're still looking for someone to hold one of them open, but Raymond's definitely going to be in the neighborhood. So
we're going to have a lot of open houses this weekend, though. So, I mean, if you're curious, give us a call and we can let you know what time we're going to be at each of those houses.
Yeah, we're just kind of like that little game where you have to move all the squares and make them fit. And that with the traffic jam one where you're moving cars, that is our life right now. Just a lot of activity out there, a lot of interest. I think we have a lot of buyers. John, maybe you could speak to that. A lot of buyers that are kind of coming on the market right now.
I have 14 or 15 on my board. I mean, Ray, you were in the office the other day. I think I have 14 or 15 on my board looking for properties right now. And 4 that are closing this month. And I get multiple calls a week to get pre-qualified. I mean, there's definitely activity and there's definitely people looking to get into homes.
How to get a hold of you, John?
520-975-9965 or our website, inspiredlifemortgage.com.
Just so everybody know that on Cedar Elm, that's going to be open today from 1 to 4. The one on, I say 1358 Placito Brunch is going to be open from 1 to 4 on Saturday. And I do know that if you need to get a hold of the one in La Paz, you have to get a hold of Danielle and have your pre-qual. And you can get a hold of Danielle at 520-373-6864.
Yep. You got it.
That phone number doesn't always write. So good job, Ray. Hey, John, did you catch the Wildcats on Thursday? Did you get to see the game?
I did not get to see the game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All that matters is that they won, and they playing today, guys. So make sure we're in there cheering them on. And if you have a chance, get a hold of the Sands. I think they're having a party at the Sands Club to sit there and do a watch party. So get a hold of them if you want to sit there and watch the game. If you're not going to stay home or you're going to go to somewhere else, if you have nowhere to go to Sands. But that being said, we want to say, John, you got anything you want to add? Let the people know how to get a hold of you one more time, please.
520-975-9965 or inspiredlifemortgage.com. You just love that.
Hey, we want to thank all of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Indy Realty, Inspired Life Mortgage, Pioneer Title Agency, Rego Pest Prevention, and Pillar to Post Home Inspections, because we would not be on the air without their support, their continued support. So if you reach out to them, please let them know that you heard about their services on the I Am Real Estate Show.
You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show with the Johnson Smith team from Indy Realty. You can reach us at 520-904-7711, 520-850-1725, and 520-373-6864. See you next week, everybody. Thanks for listening.